The people around you affect you a lot more than you think. And that can be the best thing ever or your worst nightmare. And we're going to talk about that in this video because I wanted to shed light on this and just give my 2 cents because that's what I love doing on my channel. So hi, if you're new, welcome. My name is Branson. I'm an actor, singer, songwriter, dancer, influencer, everything else in between. And I'm also extra. That goes to my advantage sometimes. Maybe not others. But I wanted to talk about that in this video because I just got off the phone with one of my acting friends. And this is like, the reason I'm saying acting friend is because no, this is just a regular friend, but I'm using acting because it's relevant to this story. So me and my friend were just chit-chatting on the call about life and how we want to move towards the next steps in our film acting career. And we were just talking about like, okay, you know what? We're going to hold each other accountable. And we were talking about all the things that we're going to do within the next few weeks to hold each other accountable, whether that be memorizing monologues, whether that be preparing for auditions. And I feel that it is so good when you have somebody that you can actively have to hold you accountable with, because when I tell you, it's nothing like doing something with a friend and y'all both actually are like driven and determined, where you actually see something for yourself and you actually see the future together. Because a lot of times when I've done things in the past, it's just been so hard, whether it's something that I'm trying to change, maybe a bad habit or a new thing I'm trying to pursue. Doing it alone sometimes is, it's good because you need your alone time. But also it's like, I would love a friend to do this with. Like maybe I'm trying to go on walks more. I would love a friend to walk with and chit chat with. And also it's not as easy to just be like, you know what? The weather's not really good today. I don't want to walk. Versus your friend is like, okay, no, we still should walk. And you're like, okay. And that's a whole other walk you just did, all because your friend said, maybe we should still go. And I feel like it's so beautiful when you have friends that can see a vision and also hold each other accountable. Because I've always been the friend that's like, look, tell me when you're ready. Tell me when you wanna actually do it, because I will get annoying. I will actually remind you every time we talk. Like I'll be like, so how is that new thing going? Okay, and then like after you give me your 2 cents about it, or if you tell me that, oh, I'm not doing that thing anymore. After a while, I get the hint. I'm like, okay, I guess like they really don't want to do this anymore. But if you're telling me it's something that you actually do want to do, and I'm like, okay. So like if you're trying to be a law student, I'm like, okay, how's that law study going? Oh, we haven't done anything? Okay, so when are we gonna do that? And I love when people do that to me because, it lights a fire in me. It's like, okay, maybe I do need to get up and maybe I do need to work on this thing. And when you have people in your life, we always hear that saying, the closest 5 people around you are the ones that reflect your life, or whatever the saying is. Y'all know what I mean. But yeah, it basically says whoever the 5 closest people are to you, it reflects you back. So if you're hanging around a lot of smart, intellectual people, or you're hanging around a lot of creative, like ambitious, driven people, or you're hanging around a bunch of cool, funky people, it just reflects who you are. And, that's kind of a great thing, but it's also a scary thing when you really look back and you say, okay, so that means that I am blah, blah, blah. But it's a beautiful thing when you start to bring in and cultivate the people that you have with you, because I knew from a young age that I just did not like negativity. Like I was never a negative Nancy person, and some people thrive off of that. They thrive off of just always complaining about the bad, and I guess that's like their just like relief system. But for me, I was always a positive person. I was like, oh my gosh, like think big, let's do this, let's go here. Some may say delusional, I say optimistic. I try to think about the good. Now, obviously, I'm not like that all the time, because there's some days where I'm like, ooh, child, I'm tired. I want to lay down. I don't want to talk to nobody. Don't speak to me. But generally, I land more on the optimistic side and the positive side, because, we all have our levels. And I feel that I really align with people like that. Whenever I'm talking to certain friends, I just get an emotion boost. I get so creatively driven. Just like I had this phone call with this friend and now we're holding each other accountable. I was just like, I love this. Like we both see something we're working towards. And it's just a beautiful thing to experience that with somebody else. And doing that alone sometimes is so lonely and draining. And obviously we need the discipline. We need the self self-support and just in ourselves. But I've done that with many things, okay? I've done so many self-adventures. Like, I literally learned a whole language by myself, went to a whole different country by myself, studied abroad there. I've done so many adventures, and it's just nice to have a friend. And it's nice to have somebody that, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. I'm just jumping around here. But I have another friend, and we're doing two completely different things. My thing that I'm asking to be held accountable to is more so creative based, and my other friend, his thing is more scholarly based. So it's just, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but it can be like, okay, look, did you read that book today? Yes, I read that book today. Did you, go to that cycling class? I don't know. Did you go to that dance hip hop class that you want to get better at? Because I know you want to get better at dance hip hop. It's just when you pour into somebody and they pour back into you, it just feels so good, guys. And you also start to slowly absorb the mindset of people around you because, guys, oh my gosh, literally when I was leaving college, because I graduated last year, when I was leaving it, it was so hard for me because so many of my friends, like yes, I did have a lot of friends that were theater based, but I also had a lot of friends that weren't. And it was just so hard because I saw a lot of them getting their internships, and I saw a lot of them getting these full-time jobs and stuff like that. And then I literally was starting to learn random things. I was like, okay, I need to get this full-time job offer. I need to get this specific thing. I need to get this, that. I need to get that. And I was like, pause. Why am I trying to work towards a career of somebody else's? Like, I literally found myself people that's majors had nothing to do with mine, nothing to do with me completely at all. I was like, you know what? I need to follow that path. And it's like, no, why am I talking to myself like that? Why am I telling myself, oh, I need to start applying to XYZ companies because it's going to do this and that? And I'm just like, but it's also not going to benefit what I'm actually trying to do, my actual career, my actual entertainment endeavors. It's not going to do anything for me. It's just me stalling, again, like what I would be doing, what I have done in the past. And I'm like, you gotta stop that. We gotta start today. And that's when I started, and that's when I started getting stuff. Like, I repeat myself so much on this channel, but unless you watch every single video, I'll say it again. That's when I got my headshots. That's when I started submitting on acting websites. And that's when I've been submitting auditions, got a bunch of rejections, and then got some offers and done a few things, and so excited. And when things come out, you guys will be the first to know. But it's just, the mindset that I had was so centered. It was so closely aligned with other people, my other friends' mindsets, because they had different paths, and I was thinking through their lens because I constantly had that talk around me. But in reality, that's not my path. That's not my path at all. Can you imagine, like, if Beyonce was just with her friends that were going to their I don't know, engineering classes? That's random. Hello, engineers. Love y'all, period. Y'all ate that. But just imagine Beyonce was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this music thing. Let me pick up the book and go to engineering school. Like, or I don't know, who else is great? Michael Jackson. What if Michael Jackson was like, you know what? I want to be a teacher. The people around me are all teachers, and I think that would be really what is just right for me in this moment. No, because they have totally different paths, and they accepted that. And when you're around people that just are like you and ambitious and just different drives, but I don't mean that everybody you're around has to do the same thing you're doing, because honestly the closest people to me don't do what I do, but the friend that I was on the phone with is a close friend to me, and that does the same thing. So that actually happened to be the reason I made this video, because I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. But then my other friend that's doing a whole different thing, that we're still holding each other accountable. It's just, have people around you that you want to grow with, you want to see grow, and you want to just the world for. Because when I see people I know, even people on social media, I have people that I follow that I barely talk to anymore. You know how you have people from in the past, maybe you met them last year, maybe you met them 2 years ago, and like y'all still follow each other. And I see people, especially a lot of my theater friends, I see them getting like bookings and jobs, and I get so happy. I get so excited. I think that's just my creative person jumping out, like, but I'm also like, wow, my friend is really doing the thing. My friend is really doing the thing. Like, I had one of my friends, I saw her, she's in a whole different country doing hosting. I said, we love to see it. And I just love, it's because, y'all, This career I'm learning is definitely it's a hard barrier entry. Like it's like the barrier to entry is very, very, very thick, and it's hard to just go right into doing what you love, aka the acting, aka being on the set. But when I see people doing it, I love to see it. And I love to see anybody do anything they do, okay? Because like I said, my friends, I legit have friends that are doing like business, tech, and all that. So if you're doing that, I love you doing that. And just know that who you surround yourself with matters, okay? So just, take a moment to really think like, okay, yeah, I see myself in these people. I'm really okay. I could say smart, ambitious, whatever. But anyways, that's basically the end of this video. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of insights. Watch my YouTube shorts because I post some singing videos, dancing videos, like skits and stuff over there. And I will let you guys know in the future when projects do come out or when I do other endeavors. Maybe I'll post my own projects on here because that's truly what I want to do. I would love to post my own film content on here one day. Maybe foreshadowing the future. I am. I'm putting it out there, okay? Hello. Anyways, thank y'all for watching this. I love y'all so much. And bye.